Now, it may well be the dream job for an artist and animal lover. Pip McGarry gets up close and personal to all manner of wildlife at Marwell Zoo. As the official artist in residence, sales of his work go back into helping care for the animals he paints. Pip's celebrating 17 years in the job, and Roger Finn joined him as he started work on a new portrait.
Very beautiful, but a bit of a nightmare if you're an artist, because they will keep moving around. But that hasn't put off Pip McGarry here, who's been the resident artist here at Marwell for 17 years. Pip, what is it that you've really loved over these last 17 years?
Well, it's the zoo's been a fantastic catalyst for my career, and I've loved every minute of being involved with Marwell. You're surrounded by amazing animals. I know that the keepers love their charges and put a huge amount of effort into their care. And it's been immersed in wildlife. I mean, you can't find these animals wandering down the street. You have to actually go to where they are. So being at Marwell was wonderful.
How do you cope with the fact that they do keep moving around all the time?
Well, that's one of the problems being a wildlife artist. If you paint still life or a portrait or a landscape, they're pretty much static and you can just paint from life. But with wildlife, it does move about, and quite often it will disappear mid-sketch or mid-painting. So most wildlife artists will take photographs and supplement their sketches with drawings from their photographs.
Well, in a minute, we're going to go with you to see the meerkats and the penguins, and we'll let you know how we got on at about 6:30 tonight. From Marwell, back to you.
Right, simple question for you. What's your idea of a dream job? I don't know, maybe it's a Lamborghini test driver or chief Easter egg taster, or maybe presenting this programme? No, maybe not. Well, this man must surely be a candidate. Pip McGarry is artist in residence at Marwell Zoo in Hampshire and spends much of his time painting the animals or teaching people how to sketch them. And he's just celebrated his 17th anniversary at the zoo. Well, Roger Finn has spent the day with him at Marwell. Let's join Roger tonight at Marwell.
Just look at this perfect leopard, Sally. Every tiny whisker in place. Welcome to Pip McGarry's gallery here in the shop at Marwell Zoo. This is all the fruit of an extraordinary experiment that started some 17 years ago, when Marwell became one of the very first zoos in the world to appoint a full-time artist in residence. Beautiful, but a nightmare for an artist, because they will keep moving about.
It can be irritating because you'll start off drawing them in one pose, and then they'll adopt another pose for 3/4 of an hour before returning to the original pose you started with. So it can be tricky, yes.
And the giraffes, how often do you do giraffes?
I tend not to do giraffes too often because they're such a difficult subject. I know it sounds a bit weedy, but the legs are really long, they've got lots of markings, and then if you put in a background in, it's going the other way, so it can be quite a complicated thing to do, giraffes.
Pip began as an amateur painter with a passion for wildlife. The dream job here came after a stroke of good fortune.
My wife was working with someone who was going out with one of the keepers at Marwell, and he saw that I was drawing and painting wildlife and introduced me to the general manager way back in '93, I think it was, and it went from there.
The job's evolved. Apart from painting the animals, Pip has run workshops for aspiring artists, set up the Marwell Art Society, and led art safaris to Africa. One of those included a midnight encounter on a trip to the loo.
I shone my torch to the right and I shone my torch to the left, and I went to step forward, and standing facing me was a lioness. And it was like being hit by a hot and cold at the same time. But fortunately, I took the right course of action, and I shouted really loudly, and I ran at the lioness, and it turned and it loped away.
Amongst all the wonderful creatures they've got here, any favourites?
I mean, I like painting the big cats, and I like painting smooth-skinned animals such as hippo and rhino and elephant. But the thing I enjoy the most is the variety. You can be painting something with fur one minute, then something with tusks the next. You can be painting a herd of zebras one day and a meerkat the next. So it's the variety for me that is the big bonus.
The paintings are not particularly cheap. This lioness and her cub took about 3 weeks to paint, and it's on sale for £60,000. There are cheaper works. There are some sketches here for just £500, but a significant contribution from every sale goes to help Marwell's conservation work. From the gallery here at Marwell Zoo, back to you.
Roger, thank you very much.